Welcome back to a video here, Euphoric Sports, and today we're going to be doing the Champions League quarterfinal, semifinal, final predictions. We have the bracket ready, and I was thinking to myself, it's 1 hour until the quarterfinals start. Why have I not made a prediction video? But here it is. I've been working on this for a while, though. I've had it all in my notebook all ready and set. I went through every single game, and I know how it's going to go down. We're going to start off with the hard side. Real Madrid, the current champions, versus Chelsea. Now, Chelsea has ran through like 10 managers this season. They run through managers like we run down fast food places. One day I'm out here eating In-N-Out. The next day I'm eating a Chick-fil-A. And, that's how Chelsea have been treating their managers, like food. They just, I'm bored of you. Get out of here. Graham Potter, you're sacked. Tuchel, you're sacked. Now they got Frank Lampard, the same guy they had sacked for two. It's just a mess over there. But Todd Bowley thinks he's got it under control, which he clearly doesn't, because Chelsea is not even sitting at 10th anymore. They are below 10th. So, you know where I'm going with this. Real Madrid are going to win it. This is David versus Goliath, except David has no slingshot or rock. He's just got to go, fist only against Goliath. That's exactly what Chelsea are going to do, and they are definitely not going to get through Real Madrid. No way. I'm pretty sure the betting odds favor Real Madrid heavily, so if I put $1 down for Chelsea, maybe I get $1 million, because that's how unlikely it is that Chelsea will beat Real Madrid and get to the semifinal. No chance at all that happens. But let's move on. Man City versus Bayern. Now, this could go either way, and this is a very interesting game because we got Haaland, who is on fire, on pace to break the Premier League record for goals. Scored 5 goals in the second leg of the round of 16. He has experience against Bayern, but my man doesn't have that great of a scoring, history against Bayern. So they probably have the answer. Now, we all know Thomas Tuchel owns Pep Guardiola. He pretty much does own him. Champions League final with Man City. Thomas Tuchel comes in with the Chelsea squad that he inherited mid-season and beats, Pep Guardiola's blank check. Manchester City that he's been there for 4 or 5 years at the time. And now, guess what? Thomas Tuchel is inheriting another team mid-season in Bayern. He's done it before. Bayern are hoping he can do it. And he did just get eliminated from the cup. But I am confident that Bayern will beat Man City. I am confident. Because when you look at that Bayern team, it's absolutely insane. And it is arguable that they have a more depth and better depth than Manchester City, man. Because even Jose Mourinho was talking about it, where, their front three is Musiala. They got Choupo-Moting. On the right, I believe it was Coman. And then false nine, or the center attacking mid, was Mueller. And then you see the substitutions coming in. You see Mane, Gnabry, Sane, Joao Cancelo, Gavin back. I believe that's how you say it. Those are five players that can start for 99% of Europe. 5 players right there coming off the bench in a one of the most important games of Bayern's season against PSG at home. You're up 1-0 in the aggregate, and those are your substitutions. Jeez. So I'm thinking there's no way Bayern, get outclassed due to depth, because we know Man City has a lot of depth, but they literally let go of their best fullback to Bayern. So I'm thinking everything is indicating to me, because we all know Pep Guardiola is always there when it comes to bottling in the Champions League. In the league, we all know he's very, very good at winning the league. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm fearful. And I want Man City to beat Bayern. I personally do, because they'll play more fixtures, all right? So you might be saying, you're an Arsenal fan, your bias is against City. I actually want them to win this. I would want City to lose in the final, and then in the FA Cup also lose in the final, because I want them to go and play every match possible, so it helps them drop more points in the Premier League, if that makes sense. So I want them to win this, but I think Bayern's going to go through. I think they've got the manager to stop City. They've got the players to stop City. I believe they've got the players to stop Haaland. They really have the potential to embarrass Manchester City. And I know that's something crazy to say, but I genuinely think Bayern can embarrass City. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it's a close game. I hope City barely come out on top on a last-minute winner. I don't care who it is, if it's Grealish. But I think Bayern goes through. Now it would be in the semi. Let's go to the other side. We'll go Benfica versus Inter. Benfica has been one of the highest goal-scoring teams in the Champions League. They've had a tough group too. Juventus, and PSG. Then they go against an easy team in Brugge, but they've been high goal scoring team. I believe this Benfica is a quality team. Their thing is that they can score many goals. Inter, on the other hand, they don't score as many goals, but defensively they are a solid team. So it's two, fire and water just boom clashing. But I believe Benfica is gonna go through. Inter, I'm not convinced offensively at all. You barely go through Porto 1-0 in both matches. You get lucky with not losing to a 10-man Porto. Like, that's insane. You were struggling against 10-man Porto. 10-man Porto. Come on. But anyways, I think Benfica goes through. They're going to be the Villarreal of last year. They get to a semifinal. Now, do they get to the final? That'll be interesting. Now, Napoli versus Milan is an interesting game because everybody was telling me Napoli were going to run through Milan because previously Milan was losing to Napoli because Napoli had been insane. But they faced again 4-0 win for Milan. Absolutely embarrassed Napoli, right? But we have to keep in consideration a lot of the players from Napoli that are key, like Osimhen, were not playing, all right? So, Napoli, you have to think they're going to have a lot more starters that they usually have against Milan. It'll be an interesting game because it's tough for Napoli and Milan because these two teams have seen each other so many times already, and now they're going to see each other 2 more times. So this can go either way. Now, Milan, that team that they have right now doesn't have the Champions League experience. Neither does Napoli. So nobody has the experience card on them. Nobody has that advantage. So it's just 2 young, hungry teams with, some veterans on there, and they really want to get through. This is honestly a coin flip, but I'm going to go with Milan. Yes, Milan. I think Napoli's story ends. Pep Guardiola, I believe he fears them as well. That's the thing about Pep. And the reason why I'm going Milan is just that Champions League DNA. They're the second most winning team to win the Champions League, right? The second most, right behind Real Madrid. It's Milan. So I believe they're going to get through Napoli. It's a great story. They won their league. We'll see what happens with their players because there's going to be heavy, heavy interest from the top dogs like Real Madrid. Those teams are going to be looking at, all their players that have been world-class that just ran away with the Serie A. And I personally want Napoli to go through, but Pep Guardiola is kind of he's something I'm not going to say, but he's something else. I hate when he comes out and he starts praising the other team because he obviously wants to build that pressure on that team so they fall. Because I'm pretty sure he fears Napoli because Napoli, they are... I believe if Napoli played City, Napoli beat City. And if they would have got anyone but Milan, I think Napoli runs through it, except maybe Bayern. Just because Milan sees them all the time. I believe Inter's not as good as Milan, so... I wouldn't think Napoli would do anything, or Inter would be able to stop Napoli. But this Napoli team is on fire. But this Milan team is starting to get on form too. So it's 2 fired teams that are young and hungry coming at each other. So it goes either way. But I'm just going with Milan, Champions League DNA. That leads us to the semifinal. Milan versus Benfica. Now, I would love to say Benfica because I have a thing where if Benfica goes through, I win like $300. But I'm going to say Milan goes through to the final. Champions League DNA, like I said. Now, that will come into consideration for the other side because it is Real Madrid versus Bayern. Now, that would be insane. We've seen that countless amount of times, with the Ronaldo and, against the Mueller. Those 2 Bayern teams that were going head to head, those are some classic Champions League matches. Real Madrid versus Bayern. It doesn't get better than that, in my opinion. Because those are the classics. The Ronaldo hat tricks, the Bayern shootout in the Santiago Bernabeu. Those are classic matches, you know what I'm saying? And this is going to be another classic one. But Real Madrid have been up and down, man. Up and down. In the league, you can definitely see they're in second place. But it seems like they're always allergic to losing in the Champions League. But their problem is depth. They didn't do anything in the transfer window in January. And that's going to hurt them. And I'm going to say Bayern makes the Champions League final just because of that depth. Is absolutely insane from Bayern. And that leads us to the 1 game off. Bayern versus Milan. Now, we were 1 game off from seeing Ancelotti just come back home. Or not come back home, but play against his former team that he's won, the Champions League with and all. They were going to face off with Milan. But instead, we've got Bayern. Bayern versus Milan. Now, This is going to be an interesting game. It's a one game. That's the thing about the Champions League final. Anyone could win because you look back at Champions League finals, you know, the one that comes into my mind right now, Chelsea versus City that I talked about. City was the better team. On paper, they played 10 times. Maybe City wins 8 of those matches, but it happened to be that one match, one of the 2 matches that Chelsea would have won that day. So I'm going to say Bayern is going to be the Champions League champs. I know I just almost led you to believe that I was going to say Milan, but dude, that depth is insane. Like, it's world class. I think it has the potential if they... I know they are underperforming in the league, and that's probably a great argument, but I'm going to say that Bayern wins it all because, Milan's not overperforming in the league at the moment. You understand? They're struggling to get top 4. Right now they aren't in the top 3. So this is a Champions League. Anything could happen. It's 1-2 games, not 38 matches, and this is just one match. I'm going to say Bayern goes through. That depth is insane. Thomas Tuchel has done it before, and he's going to do it again. And he's done it with the worst team. Thomas Tuchel probably looked at this team and was like, City's gifting us Joao Cancelo. Wow. So I'm going to go Bayern wins the Champions League. And, that's the way it's going to go. Obviously, I would want the final to be City-Napoli, and Napoli wins the Champions League if I could, if this was FIFA and I could force it, but I think it's Bayern-Milan. Bayern win it all. But anyways, leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. And leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win the Champions League and any disagreements you have with my takes here for the Champions League bracket that I have here. But anyways, thank you guys for watching and see ya for the next video.